Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Starting in the Big Ten. Iowa needed a win. They needed a win for their tournament hopes. Still got a chance, obviously, in the Big Ten tournament, but they needed a win to feel good about it going in. And Illinois denied them that opportunity, Rob Dauster. What a performance on the road, 73-61 by the Fighting Illini. And you mentioned it. In this performance alone, their defensive metrics over at KenPom just exploded. How impressive was that tonight for Illinois, Rob?
Incredibly impressive. The big knock that we had on them all season long, John, was can they guard? Can they get enough stops? Are they going to be good enough defensively? Are they a team that can find a way to be able to win 4 straight games in the NCAA tournament to get to the Final Four? If you know there's going to be a night when they're not playing well enough on the offensive end. And I think tonight was an example of them not playing well enough on the offensive end of the floor. They go on the road to an Iowa team that is desperate, that is in the spot where they have to get this win to be able to have a chance to make the NCAA tournament without having to make a run in the Big Ten tournament. And I mean, they were fine. They scored 73 points, 5 for 16 from 3, but it wasn't the quintessential elite Illinois offensive performance that we've seen in the past. And they still found a way to get it done. Gave up 61 points to an Iowa team that over the course of the last month had been a top 3 offense in America. Completely shut them down. 61 points on 75 possessions is about as good as you're going to be able to be on the defensive end of the floor. And my biggest question is, like, why aren't we seeing this more often from Illinois? Why do we have to go through these stretches where we watch them look like they couldn't guard me, you, our producer Trevor, our producer Dagan, and Jerel McNeal at the 5, right? Why do we have to watch these stretches where they are so bad defensively, and then we can see them go and do something like this where they shut down a team? Literally the only thing Iowa can do on a basketball court is score. So I do think that I teased this earlier, and I'm going to dive into it because I want to get you guys' opinion on this. Okay, I teased this earlier. I have a hot take on Illinois, and I feel like I'm kind of on an island when I say I feel very good about them being able to make a run deep in the NCAA tournament. And all I hear back is, well, can they guard? Well, can they get stops? Well, can they do this? Well, can they do that? This team reminds me so much of the last 2 Miami teams, right? Because they didn't, like, neither of those Miami teams were great defensively. And I think that what they were was a group of guys that could all go and get their own, right? The thing that made Miami so tough to deal with the last 2 years is they didn't really run all that much. They just kind of played iso ball, right? They were like, okay, I like this matchup. We're going to let Isaiah Wong cook. Okay, I like this matchup. We're going to let Jordan Miller cook. Okay, I like this matchup. Nigel Pack, it's your turn. And I kind of feel like that is a little bit of what Illinois does this year. Sometimes it's going to be Marcus Domask. Sometimes it's going to be Terrence Shannon. Sometimes it's Coleman Hawkins. But there's a lot of, like, the essence of booty ball is basically taking advantage of the one-on-one matchups that Brad Underwood believes that he's going to be able to win. And I feel like they have enough guys that can go out and get their own, where I know the narrative is they don't have a point guard. They can't do this. They like Terrence Shannon is not going to be able to carry them. But I don't know, man. I really like the makeup of this Illinois team, and the fact that we've gotten 2 of their best defensive performances over the course of the last 6 weeks in the last 2 games that we've seen them play before heading into the Big Ten tournament. Jarrell, I feel really good about this Illinois team, man. I like them heading into March. I think they're peaking at the right time. Give me all the Illini stock. I'm in. I'm buying in. I'm the anti-Tyler Hansborough right now.
Jarrell, what did you think? Are you in the same boat?
I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%. And it's just funny because Rob kind of spoke to a lot of stuff that I was going to say. But I kind of got a little slack on here not too long ago when I said something about Illinois and, me having worries about just some of their late clock management offensively. And, some of the Illini faithful kind of came after me and was like, it's the defensive end of the ball. And they weren't wrong in saying that, but me at the same time, and this is just the way that I view the game, is that I don't worry about them as much because they still have good positional defenders. They have guys that can guard and keep the ball in front. They got Terrence Shannon is a good guard, good defender. Ty Rogers is an elite defender, and Coleman Hawkins is even a really good positional defender and another guy that you can play small ball with and even switch some. So they have they'll have opportunities to stop teams and hold teams. And like tonight, as we saw, they kind of shut Iowa's water off, and that's kind of been Iowa's makeup all years, that they were trying to outscore people, but they were able to lock in. So on a night that they weren't great offensively necessarily, they were able to come in and get a big road win pretty handily there. But I think I'm with Rob on this one. I think this is definitely a team I can see at least getting to the Sweet 16. And I wouldn't be shocked if they go under that as well.
Jerel, I had this conversation with someone the other day where I was saying, like, on paper, you look at this Illinois team, and they should be switchable 1 through 5, especially with their starting 5, right? Like, if Ty Rodgers is your air quotes point guard here, right? And he's like 6'4" and 220 and a bulldog. And Coleman Hawkins is your 5 man. And like on his best day, Coleman Hawkins is one of the best defenders in college basketball. Then you combine that with Terrence Shannon and Quincy Guerrier and Marcus Domask, and you got a bunch of guys that in theory should be able to guard up and down the lineup, right? And the guy I was talking to who is an NBA scout was like, well, here's the problem. Quincy Guerrier is not, he's athletic, but he's not really switchable, right? Marcus Domask is big, but he's kind of slow. Coleman Hawkins can get distracted by anything that's going on in the crowd over here. Like, he just, sometimes getting him to focus on what his job is on the defensive end of the floor is not the easiest task. Where do you fall? I know you got a couple guys from your Mean Streets AAU program that are on Illinois right now. So I know you watch that team a lot. Where do you stand on that?
I mean, you're spot on with that, and they got pretty good positional size, and like you said, I wouldn't say that they're a switchable team, but it's primarily because of Guerrier. Obviously Domask isn't the quickest guy laterally, but just watching him enough games and getting a large enough sample size, he's got good size and he competes. He really tries to guard the ball well, and obviously that means something when you got other guys around you who are going to be in help situations too. But I don't know what the disconnect has been. So like I said, the Illini fans aren't wrong in that they've been abysmal on defense, specifically the last 2 months. They haven't played well, but when you got guys that can guard, I don't know if it's a disconnect with the game plans or the schemes or what it is, but if they need to dumb it down a little bit and go to something like that more often and just switch everything and try to make other teams beat you playing one-on-one. There's not a lot of teams out here at the college level that can play and just play matchup ball and go ISO and beat you. A lot of times it's going to bog them down offensively. It's going to stop ball movement, and it's going to, in most cases, make the offense really easy to guard. So even if they need to simplify things, I think it'd be good. I wouldn't bat an eye as well at throwing Hawkins at the 5 and getting a little bit more speed in, maybe get a little bit smaller at the guard position, slide Domask over to the 4, and Shannon and Rodgers are kind of interchangeable. Both of those guys can guard 2, 3, 1, so it doesn't really matter. And maybe go all in on the small ball and try to switch everything.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.